Hello. Welcome to How to Be a Better Speaker. Today I want to tell you a story. Once upon a time, it was springtime, and this little tadpole developed into a frog. And this little froggy was very happy in his pond. He could see all the way around. He knew every little nook and cranny of his pond. He knew where the best places were to go digging for grubs. He knew where the best bits were in terms of the light coming in, which would show up all the flying things that he could go and grab hold. As the summer wore on, his pond got progressively drier because the water was evaporating. He was left with a choice. He could either stay in his little pond and ultimately shrivel up and die, or be courageous and go and find another pond. With that sunlight dappling in, he had seen some other water further over. Now, he didn't know how far this was, but he knew if he stayed where he was, things were going to get a bit dire, really. So he had to make a decision, and he decided to hop, 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 hop in the direction of the other pond. Oh my word, was this a big pond? He could not see the other side of it. There was no knowing what was in that pond. But he'd made his decision, and there he was. He stuck his toe in. In fact, he stuck a whole lot of him in and held on to the side. From there, he could look around and see what was going on. He felt a total imposter. When in his old pond, he was the king frog. Nobody else was around. He was the number one. It was a very different situation now. I mean, there were other frogs there who were really quite friendly, actually. Let's show you the ropes. I don't know where I am. I don't know what I'm doing. Why am I here? I feel like an imposter. Oh, come on, we'll show you around. Come with us. So he let go, and he discovered it was much deeper than the water in his old pond. And he had to work a little bit harder to keep up. But he was determined to do that because he wanted to be friends with these other people, these other frogs who were much bigger and more impressive than he was. They showed him where the extra special places were in this pond, where to find those yummy grubs, those flying insects when they came in, and the best times to go for them. So he hung around with these other bigger frogs and got to know the area quite well. And then one day, one of the frogs said, "You up for an adventure?" What do you mean? I'm just about settled in this bigger pond. What adventure did you have in mind? Let's go to the other end of the pond. I've heard it's even better out there. Oh, but you can't see. I mean, there are nice trees and shaded here, and you can't see over there. It's a bit open. You might be picked off by a heron. Oh, come on, come with me. It's going to be an adventure. I don't know what I'm getting into, but I'll go with you. And off he went, along with his other frog, out into the big area that he could not see the sides of. Whoa, turns out it wasn't a pond at all. It was a river. And there was a current that once he got caught into it was taking him along. And he didn't need to do anywhere near as much efforting. There wasn't quite so much paddling involved. And the view was amazing. He could see dragonflies. He could see birds flying over the top, But you know what? Because he was further out away from the sides, he was less likely to get picked off than if he'd been by the pond edge or the river edge. He really felt out of his depth, quite literally. But this other frog was with him, holding his little froggy hand. And off they went into the big, wide river with all these extra opportunities that he had no concept of, even when he was holding onto the side of the what he thought was the pond, let alone in his original pond. So, my question to you is, little froggy, where are you? Are you in your original pond, wherein you were birthed? And you feel as though you're comfortable in there, you're familiar because you know it, but you're not growing. You're not reaching the audience you need to. Have you taken courage in both hands and gone into the bigger pond? Still feel as though you're holding on because you feel like the imposter? Well, guess what? Every time you upgrade, you will feel like an imposter. Get used to it. You'll get used to it and get over it, is what I'm saying. Or have you latched on to somebody who says, come on, let's go on an adventure. Let's see what opportunities are there in a bigger, wider world. Opportunities to share your message to even more people in the right audience, in the right way, so that your message reaches the right people. Where are you along that journey? Do tell me, because unless you are prepared to let go of those things that you're telling yourself, I'm only, who would listen to me? Why would I put myself in that situation? Well, you don't know what situation is, do you? You just can't see the vista from under the trees. Trust the process. Trust the other frog who's saying, come on an adventure with me. We know where you are. No, bye from me.